We're impacted. We are impacted. We're impacted. We're ready to get up. We want to win. Light the fire of power that make us free. We never break down. We want to win. We are impacted. The best team.
Hello and welcome back to TNI-UK Impacted, coming to you live via the Total Nonstop Impact Network on YouTube and Twitch. I'm your host Bison. Today, I'm joined. Oh, you are there, boys. You keep disappearing on.
You froze. You froze.
It was me that froze, was it? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
How are you all doing, lads? How are we doing?
We're good, thank you. How are you?
Oh man, I'm good.
As soon
Apart
as
from
I
this
did the glare, it froze. I think I fucked your system up. I did a Sammy Calhoun.
To be honest with you, I think the internet's been a bit crappy recently.
Yeah, it's been a bit dodgy around my area too. To be honest, the TV is going down occasionally. It must be a British thing.
Of this. Oh, we're back again. One. So yeah, there's a lot of dodgy internet going on. But, guys, we've got those special guests this week. That sucks, don't it?
Yeah. It was just so good. After still taking it in that Crazy Steve came last week. It was just amazing.
That was pretty awesome having Crazy Steve on. I thought he did an amazing job. He had some great stories. It was just great to have a member of Decay on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. So I can't advise anyone enough who hasn't checked out last week's episode to go and check that out. Even if all you do is watch the interview, it was an hour long in the end. So it's definitely worth going and checking that out. Some really cool stuff on there. But yeah, so it's all good. Let's get to news and rumors, guys. Let's get to news and rumors. So Under Siege has been getting a lot of praise through several sort of kind of news or rumors outlets, dirt sheets, whatever you want to call it. But there's been a lot of praise, which I think is great to see. And for all you people out there that follow the dirt sheets or or care about the opinion of these so-called news outlets and all the rest of it, go read the articles because they're talking about Impact Wrestling being great. So
Proud as a peacock.
Exactly, proud as a peacock. Of course, we then had Mia Yim makes a return. I say a return. I suppose when she was there last, she was Jade, so you could say that she's made her debut, I guess, or she's arrived possibly on Impact Wrestling, which is absolutely fantastic. It looks like she signed the rumor is that she signed a 6-month contract with both sides open to talking longer. Apparently this is very similar to the contract that Tyre's also tied into, and of course similar to what Jonah had as well. And I think he did a fantastic job in the time that he was here, and I think he enjoyed himself as well. So hopefully, we may see Jonah turn up again at some point in the future. But now let's enjoy Mia Yim. Let's enjoy Tyre and whoever else it may be coming in. You never know. You just never know. And that's one of the great things about Impact. You just don't know if people are going to turn up or not, which is really, really cool. What are your thoughts on the Mia Yim situation and this 6-month contract type deal that they seem to be putting together these days? Any ideas? What have you got for us, Joe?
So as far as I know, it is actually concrete fact. I mean, this is how the deal that they've got. And I was a huge fan of Jade when she was in Impact Wrestling way back. She was one of the knockouts that really stood out to me. And then the whole thing with Rosemary was just incredible. And the Dollhouse before then was just brilliant too. So to see her back now after her stint in WWE, she's only done 1 or 2 matches after leaving WWE. So she's had very little exposure in the mainstream light, so to say. Like Taya Valkyrie's been up in Canada and all over the place, but Mia Yim's kept herself to herself because she's got married recently too. So to see her back in the ring and the Impact Wrestling of all places to be her first port of call, and to be open to continue working if she's happy with it, if they're happy. And she just seems like Taya Valkyrie. She just seems so happy to just be back on Impact Wrestling. Back with the family.
I agree with that.
That's just incredible,
Yeah.
and I'm so pleased to see her back.
It's like both of them were saying about the, nice to be back with the family and all that kind of stuff. What about you, Steve? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, like Joe said, that it's great to see her back, and you felt she would be coming back as well. And you look at what Impact has done recently. 6 months seems to be the average where the talent seems to be coming back. Whether they stay or whether they move on after that 6 months is up to anyone's business. But even to have Mia Yim here for 6 months, that's great for the Knockouts division, and we know what she can offer. Personally, I think we will see her beyond that 6 months. But I mean, you look at Rosemary. She's got Mia, she's got Jade and Taya back within the space of a month.
Yeah, Rosemary's like confused.
Yeah. She don't know what the hell's going on. She's well happy. So, I mean, there's loads of things that we can see moving forward. I mean, we know that there's a little bit of unfinished business there between Rosemary and Taya. We know that we've got the potential to get back to the whole Rosemary and sort of the red versus blue type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
definitely.
So there's definitely those sort of things that we can look at. And of course, there's some great knockouts, more great knockouts as well. Hi, Terrence. Nice to see you. Just quick shout out, actually. We got Keith in the house. Obviously, Terrence in the house. Bonus Baby's in the house. I see J Bones here, which is great to see. One of the bosses is in the house, just checking up, I guess.
Papa
checking
J-Bone.
up on us. Papa J Bone. Good to see you, brother. So great to see you guys. I don't know where Violet is. Unusual. No Violet.
Not from Violet. Courtney's at the dentist, so she might be able to catch us later on. But she did drop a message. So shout out to Courtney. We miss you.
Fair enough. And it's great to see Mir's in the house. HBIC, head Bison in charge. Two right. So there's lots of stuff really that came out of Under Siege as well. I mean, you think about the fact that we've got Taya and Mia back now. You think that we've got Gianna. You think that we've got Tasha Steeles. We've got Rosemary. We have got some of the best female talent in the world today. Just unbelievable. What we've got some great stuff awaiting us, Impact fans. The Impact faithful. They give us stuff. They don't. We might get disappointed from time to time when we lose somebody, but they always give us somebody else. And I was saying this the other day. The fact that the inspiration have gone and then Mia Yim turns up. That's why I always say don't ever get too disappointed. Yes, it was great that they came in, they did their thing, but we know that as soon as somebody goes, somebody comes in. So
good job, Scott. Good job.
Exactly. So I've got to that point now where I'm just kind of like, okay, well, they're gone, so who's coming in? That's where I sort of kind of feel about these sort of things now. Also, of course, we have the Death Machine makes his return, and it looks like he's coming in as a face, which I thought was pretty cool because he's sort of kind of like, well, we know that Sammy at the end of the day is a tweener, right? He's
the anti-hero.
Anti-hero, yeah.
He is the anti-hero that we need. And it is great that he's back. Looks very, excited to be back. We've got the crowd popped big time. So that was fantastic as well. So great to see him. Oh, and I noticed that he's dropped the draw as well now. They're definitely pushing the narrative of the Death Machine again.
Yeah.
which I think is cool, and be interested to see where they go with that.
Yeah.
Very interested to see where they go. They've changed it for a reason, so it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that. I guess you guys are happy to see Sammy back.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm ecstatic to see Sammy. I watched that clip of him coming back to Power Drive and Race about 10 or 15 times before actually watching the whole event itself, and it's just incredible to see Sammy back, and he looks in amazing shape. You know, you can tell that physiotherapy has helped, and it's just good to see him back in his zone, his happy place.
I agree. Yeah,
Nice
definitely.
You don't
He looked
realize
ecstatic.
you don't realize how much of a connection he has with the crowd until he came out. Instantly, that connection was there.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, look, Mir's saying, "Stand up, Steve. Let's see your T-shirt." Sammy, there you go.
It's so good. It's so good to wear it again.
I love that T-shirt. I got that one as well. It's a good T-shirt. Okay, so we've got Ace Austin heading to Japan for the Super Juniors Cup with the X Division title in with him. I know that Joe, you've got this feeling that he may possibly win.
It's inevitable.
You think it's inevitable? What about you, Steve? What are your thoughts?
He's got as good a chance as anyone, hasn't he?
He's got TJP in his bracket as well. In like it's like I think it's like the layout was like 5 on top, 5 on bottom. TJP's on one of his brackets, and he's got huge competition on Ace Austin's side. But I think he's got this one. I really do.
Yeah. No, I agree. Totally.
It'd be hell of an achievement.
Yeah.
What's that J Bones talking about there? What have I missed?
I think they're talking about Roxy and WWE.
Oh yeah, because they're jobbing her out already, apparently. What a shame! What a shame!
Yeah.
But there you go. You know, again, the whole people not listening and stuff. I mean, you got to stop with that. At the end of the day, he's right. Every wrestler has their dream, and their dream, to make it to the top, make it to the pinnacle. And let's face the fact, you can't get any closer to, you can't get any higher than WWE at the end of the day. As it stands at the moment, the WWE have been and are the top pro wrestling promotion in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
that
don't
has
know
to be the pinnacle.
Yeah, and you don't know what other people's achievements are in life.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So sorry, Joe, what are you saying?
Taking Taya Valkyrie, for example, I was disappointed she went to WWE, but there was no judgment from me thinking, oh, well, she's thrown her career away, and all that stuff. Really, we joked about it, but deep down, it was like, fair enough. I respect the decision, and things happened. She got dropped for the wrong reasons. She got dropped because she was too good, basically. So, so her anger and frustration was that was shared by everybody. That wasn't just me being a bloody mark.
For reals.
Yeah, for reals. But now she's back and proving how good she is, because she's been phenomenal since she come back to Impact.
It's a different person altogether.
Without doubt. Oh, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And, this is the person that we know and love, and that we loved before, obviously, she was coming to the end of her time at Impact. She did the right thing. She lost to Deanna, putting her over. Exactly what she should have done the right thing, which is fantastic. We then get the news this week. Not sure whether it was, I think it was on the way to Under Siege. Josh Alexander and a few others got into a car crash. And it looks like, from the pictures that we saw, whoever was in that car was extremely lucky to escape with no injuries. So as far as I was aware, nobody actually got any injuries in the accident, nor did Josh. Well, thank God. So, big shout out to whoever was in that car. And glad you're all okay. obviously, especially Josh, our personal world champion. So that, real shame. But, these things happen. When you're on the road, as much as these guys are, these sort of chances of this happening are quite big. But glad you got out safe. Glad everyone was okay. We then see this week's tapings in Florida. Ticket sales have been fantastic. Now, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up to date with that, but there are not many seated tickets left. I know that you still have the general admission, the standing only stuff, the bleachers or whatever. I think they've got bleachers there. So you got the bleacher seats, the nosebleeds, whatever you want to call them. They are still available, and they'll probably be available on the day. But the fact that the whole of the floor area has been completely sold out by the looks of it, the odd one or two tickets here and there, I think is fantastic news. I think it's going to be great. I know that this previous set of tapings, or there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, there's going to be hardly anyone there." Well, I've seen photographs of the day of tapings, and the place looks jammed. So I'm excited for tomorrow night, actually, to see how crazy the crowd are, especially after Under Siege being such a fantastic special. But that's good news, isn't it, guys?
It's fantastic news.
Definitely.
It's just more ammunition to throw against all the marks.
Yeah. Oh, Joe is after. He's on it, isn't he? He's on it. He's trying to fight everyone. I love that one. Love it. So not really that much to talk about from a news perspective, boys, is there this week for Impact? But lots of sort of small things, a few little small things that we got to talk about there. But the main thing is we've got a fantastic Under Siege to review, haven't we?
Yeah. I'll say, like you say, the main thing is obviously Under Siege. As I always say, no news is good news.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay. Now Mir's asking me exactly the name, and there's a reason why I didn't say it. Mir, right? And he's trying to catch me out every time. Always trying to catch me out. The reason I didn't say it is because I'm not very good at saying it. But they've called the tapings the Citrus Brawl, which I really like. I think that's a really cool, a really cool sort of subcategory or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
a name for the tapings. Let's put it that way. I think it's pretty cool. What are your thoughts on that? Because I've noticed they did it as well, didn't they? With the set of tapings they did a little while back, wherever that was, I can't remember now. They called that something. They gave that set of tapings a name as well, very similar, based on the area.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that was? Do you remember ones I'm talking about?
I don't remember the area it was, and I forgot. But I do know they had them at least once or twice this year with different venues they've gone to. They did it before the multiverse matches.
They did. I'm just trying to remember the name now. It's absolutely bugging me. What did they call it? I bet someone in here is going to say it. Now,
Critical Sting, where are you?
Yeah, where's Critical Sting when you need him? So anyway, the Citrus Brawl is in Kissimmee, Florida. Is that how you say it? Kissimmee? Come on, someone tell me. Is that how you say it? Kissimmee.
I've never heard of it before, so I assume yes.
Well, Kissimmee, I don't believe is too far away from the from Disney and all that. I don't think all the big, the big parks and all that. I don't think it's very far away.
They used to film in Orlando, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They did film in Orlando. Kissimmee's obviously in Orlando, so hopefully they're going to pick up on a lot of the old fans from the old days, getting involved in wanting to come along.
Oh wow, we found something that Critical Sting doesn't know.
What? What Sting?
I broke Sting too. First I broke the Bison's internet connection, and now I broke Sting.
Yeah. I think you're right there as well. I think that the Citrus Bowl logo thing is quite sweet. I think you're right there. Bonus baby just said that. I think it's pretty cool. I'm trying to think, what was the other one? Oh, that's really bugging me now. I can't remember it. But anyway, I quite like the way they're doing that because it sort of kind of gives New Orleans. It was in New Orleans.
Ooh, there's tension now.
Come on, Sting. Let us know.
Yeah, it kind of the citrus ball kind of the first thing that it gave me a feeling was with Tasha Steeles and that like her kind of flavor. It's all like flavor and citrus ball kind of had a kind of two sort of link. I'm like, I wonder if she'll have a big kind of impact in these sort of tapings.
Possibly, but I would imagine that it's referring to the fact that Florida's the orange state.
Oh
yeah,
there you go.
Battle at the Bayou. There you go.
That's the one. That was in yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
See that's it. See, Sting always comes through, doesn't he? Always, every time. Thank you, Critical Sting. Appreciate that. Now, guys, let's get into this review. So, we start off obviously with the countdown to Under Siege.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't actually get to see this on the night. I watched it a couple of days later, but I can we can go through a review on this. I thought this was great. Countdown was great. So we've got Rhino, we've got Raj Singh and Shearer taking on Heath and Rhino tag match. So Rhino takes Sting off his feet with a running shoulder tackle. Singh distracts the referee, allowing Shearer to deliver a right hand to Rhino from the apron. Singh hits a flatliner on Heath for a 2 count. A 2. Singh and Shearer cut off the ring as they begin to wear Heath down. Heath gets his boots up to create separation and tag to Rhino. Then you get the pace quickens as Rhino goes on the attack. Rhino gores Singh to score the victory in the end. 1, 2, 3. So, it wasn't a particularly long match, but I thought it was pretty good. The only thing for me is it over the past few weeks, they've obviously been trying to reintroduce Shearer, especially as the lion, the beast from from India or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel it looked particularly beaten in this match. I thought, I mean, I don't know. What were your thoughts?
It was a decent match, and it was a decent length to kick off the whole night with. I enjoyed it. It was good to see Heath and Rhino pick up the win. And I think this is more to put Heath and Rhino over than it was to really show off what Shearer can do. Because Heath and Rhino, the commentary were putting Heath and Rhino over throughout the entire match too. How they just lost to the Briscoes and lost their chance against Violent by Design. So this is like Heath and Rhino's road back to the tag team title contention. I think we're going to see.
I understand that, but my concern was that over the last few weeks itself on the Impact show leading up to this, they've been pushing obviously Singh, Shearer, and of course the I've forgotten his name now. The other Indian fella, Rupinder Gujar. Yeah, exactly. They've been sort of kind of pushing something there. Shearer's been sort of kind of like being this beast and this animal that he is, and then I just felt, I don't know. For me, I just felt it sort of kind of made him a bit made them look a bit weak as a group. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As they've been pushing them up to this point, now all of a sudden they potentially got to restart that push again.
Well,
you know what I mean?
When to begin with, when Heath and Rhino walked out, I was shocked because my initial reaction was like, who's Bhupinder's partner going to be? That was what I was really expecting. But I think this is where commentary did a really good job, because they said that with Heath and Rhino losing against the Briscoes, they then had to work their way back up. And obviously, the team at the bottom of the barrel would have, was sadly, Shearer and Raj. So they were the team that they had to go through first, I guess. So that's why they were the team that they. So Joe said that's why kind of a lot of the focus was on Heath and Rhino. But I do agree with you also that they could have done better with making Shearer look stronger.
Yeah, that's my thought process. I'm not bothered that he lost, and I guess they lost, and Singh is the one that's taking the pin. So that doesn't, it's not Shearer taking the pin, but I don't know. I just felt that they spent a bit of time trying to build him up, and he didn't look super strong in this match.
Yeah, I do think this is the best that the Raj and Shearer have looked as a team, though.
Agree. Yeah, 100% agree with that. We then get Laredo Kid versus Mike Bailey versus Switch. I was going to say Switch Swan. Switch Swan. This was an absolute slobber knocker. We know that this matchup was made up with regards to the fact that Bailey and Alex Shelley ended up not happening through the fact that Alex Shelley was unable to attend. So they then obviously, inserted him to create this three-way. But I'm going to say this was a fantastic match. And again, if you were not sold on if you were watching this on Facebook, you weren't sure whether to get in on Fight. You're not got Impact Plus, you're not got Ultimate Insider. You thought you'd give it a check it out. And if you weren't sold to go and spend your $9.99 on this special or whatever it was on Fight, I just challenge whether you're a pro wrestling fan, because this was fantastic. Let me give you the rundown on this one. We've got Bailey delivers a series of kicks to Laredo Kid, sending him to the outside. Swan takes out both of his opponents with a senton off the apron to the floor. Wow. Bailey hits the twisted suplex on the Kid. Then floats over into the ankle lock on Swan. That was very slick how that went down. Moments later, Swan hits a step-up kick on Laredo Kid for the 2 count. Kid hits the top rope driver on Swan, sending him crashing into Bailey below. Swan connects with the handspring cutter on Laredo Kid, which again was timed perfectly. Bailey almost puts Swan away with a pinpoint kick to the head. Kid soars with the springboard splash to Bailey, but Swan breaks the count with a splash of his own. Swan hits the Phoenix Splash on Laredo Kid to get the win. Obviously, Rich Swann, the winner of this match. Now, this was, for me, like an amazing match. I love the X Division style 3-ways. I think when you do a 3-way in the X Division, it works so well. Not so bothered about 3-ways when you've got 3 big men or anything like that. But or even three knockouts. But when they do an X Division 3-way matchup, it is always like just spectacular, right? It's
everyone's trying to outdo each other, which is one of the best things about it.
I think this was, absolutely just fantastic. So I'm absolutely over the moon on this match. I thought this was a great match. Again, they are kind of, Mike Bailey's not taking the pin. They're keeping him strong. They're looking after him. It's nice to see Rich Swann now, making his charge as a singles competitor again. What are your thoughts on this one?
I love this match. Like you, I struggled to find this as well. I managed to catch the last 10 minutes on Impact Plus and found the whole thing last night and watched it from the whole 30 minutes last night. This match was awesome. I'm glad it was on the pre-show. As much as it would have been great on the main card, it would have overshadowed the rest of the night on the main card. So they have this on the pre-show, even when it was just Rich Swann versus Raider Kid, was just fantastic and just really well. It really, like you said, it sets up the whole night for everyone. So if you're not glued to the screen, wanting to watch Impact Wrestling from this match, then there's something wrong with you, or you just not been paying attention. You've blinked and you've missed everything. Rich Swann looked incredible. Mike Bailey looks incredible, and Laredo Kid looks incredible too. And I can see Laredo Kid and Trey Miguel coming face to face at some point. Now, seeing as Trey Miguel is on a slump, Mike Bailey's on the rise, and their style of offense is so similar. And while they're going at it, Rich Swann will probably be climbing to the top of the X Division. So they've got a really good base there, and the Raider Kid is the other one that they've got highs and lows with at the moment too. Even the commentary was bringing this up too. His momentum in the X Division is shifting all the time, so that's going to really help the Raider Kid in the build to the X for anyone who's facing him, because he's got something to lose and nothing to gain at the moment, really.
Totally.
The match was just incredible. The finish was awesome, and that Michinoku driver to Rich Swann and Mike Bailey by the Raider Kid was just insane.
I think Dead Punk Gage is completely right there. He says now's the time to rebuild Rich Swann into a main eventer. I totally agree.
Yes.
You know, they start pulling him forward again. He's a great guy. Can I just say a quick hello to Gary Rossetti? Nice to see you. And of course, Gary Movie Emporium. Nice to see you guys joining us today. I just noticed Jeff Samuels in there as well. So great to see you, Jeff. Thanks for joining us. You know, I just want to say a quick thank you to all of you guys that join us here pretty much every single week. You know, we really appreciate it. And you guys really help us make the show a success. You are part of the show just as much as we are. So keep your comments coming. If we can include them in the show, we will. So in Under Siege then kicks off. We get the Knockouts World Tag Team Champion Madison Rayne with obviously her tag partner Tenille Dashwood versus Giselle Shaw with Alicia Edwards, who, you know, we got something going on with those guys. That's which is interesting. So we're looking forward to see where that all starts to pan out. So this is what went down. So Shaw hits a series of running uppercuts in the corner. Shaw sends her I'll get it right in a minute. Madison Rayne to the corner, sort of we get her outside the ring with an arm drag. Shaw remains in control as she hits a springboard splash. Madison Rayne distracts the referee, allowing Dashwood to grab Shaw's leg from the outside. Rayne capitalizing on blindsides her to gain control of the match. Rayne hits a Northern Light suplex for 2. Shaw comes back with a superplex to turn the tide. Shaw connects with a draping DDT, but Rayne kicks out for 2. As you would expect, she is a 5-time Knockouts champion. Rayne spikes her opponent head first into the mat, but Shaw somehow kicks out before the referee's count of 3. Dashwood grabs Shaw's leg, but Alicia neutralizes her at ringside. Shaw hits a running knee to pin one half of the Knockouts World Tag Team Champions. Giselle Shaw gets the win. With Alicia by her side, I might add. So this was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. And, you know, the fact that Alicia neutralizes Tenille Dashwood on the outside, I thought was fantastic. At the least we see of her, the better. But overall, I thought it was a really, really solid match. What were your thoughts on this one? Let's go with Steve.
Yeah, to begin with, like I say, I was really pleasantly surprised by the start, because I don't think any of us picked Alicia to come out with Giselle, did we?
Not at all.
I think, but it was a nice surprise, because we've all been calling for something for Alicia to do for a long time, and this could be an interesting team. I mean, I don't know how long it'll last, but even if it doesn't last, it could lead to something else, like maybe Lady Frost coming back and Lady Frost teaming with Alicia or something like that. So there's a lot of different directions that this can go, but the match itself I thought was really good.
It was.
You know, you know Madison Rayne is going to have a good match, but I think with every match now that Giselle Shaw is having, each one is getting better and better and better now.
Definitely.
I agree with that 100%. What were your thoughts, Joe? I know you're a massive Lish fan, so I'm sure you're pleased to see this.
Yeah, there was Lish Rep was they built the whole relationship up between them online, basically. After she beat after Giselle Shaw faced off against Tenille Dashwood, Alicia Edwards said that she'd have her back and she'd come out with her to the ring to help even things up. And the match was incredible. Like Steve said, Giselle Shaw is looking on fire, and Madison Rayne is the best person to go up against to really put yourself over at the moment. And I can't really. The in-ring action was fluent from both of them. You know, Madison Rayne, obviously you're going to expect something amazing. Giselle Shaw, she's the execution is just fantastic.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't think she's still quite early on in her career still, you know, that, you know, Impact Wrestling's really showing off what she can do, and from full credit to them for this. Alicia Edwards' reaction at the end of the match after the win, and the if you've watched the post-match interview with the two of them afterwards, which is hilarious. And I hope now Alicia Edwards thinks that they've got a tag team title shot now, and she's just she's like she's this huge naive sweetheart, and you can't help but feel delighted and sorry for her, because it's either going to end in tears or it's going to be a huge surprise. And I'm so glad to see them doing something with Alicia Edwards that isn't her screaming at Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It kind of reminds me of really early like AMW when James Storm would come out with like all the cowboy guns and all that, and Chris Harris would just go, "Are you kidding me? Get rid of all this gimmick shit."
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, definitely. It's just amazing. I love Alicia. I think she's looking more natural actually in this kind of role. Sometimes she comes across as a little bit sort of kind of unnatural, but I thought the way she's been promoing lately, and certainly with this style at the moment, she's really sort of looking as natural as I've ever seen her, which is fantastic to see. But I agree. And can I just say, it's great to see Jeff turn up as well. We got Jeff in the and Russell Red as well has turned up in the chat as well today. So great to see you guys. Like I say, you guys make it amazing. Gary Rossetti, it looks like he loves Alicia. She's getting on the nerves of Giselle, but it'd be interesting to see how it all pans out. Definitely. But it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting stuff. Yes, Jeff, we'll talk about that a little bit later, bud. So we then move on to a backstage segment. We got Dia Miller. She's interviewing the Briscoes. These guys are awesome.
If you have small children, please ask them to leave the room right now.
Too right. Headed to Impact World Title. We've got opportunity against Violent by Design. They say that the trend of them capturing tag team gold wherever they go will continue tonight. So, however, the last one that they had, they lost, but there you go. So we've got like some, got these guys. They're setting up. They're setting up, obviously, their tag title match later. I just think they're fantastic. I'd love to meet these guys like totally out of character to see what they're like in real life, because I kind of feel that nobody can be that redneck.
I don't think they'd ever be out. I think that is who they are in person.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'd love to know if they actually do talk like that, if that's the way they actually are. It's like something from the Duck Dynasty, isn't it?
It's like an extreme version of Cody Dino when he was with Jake something.
Yeah, just a proper extreme mad-ass version of it.
I get the feeling if you met them in person, that is what you would meet.
Sorry, Jeff. Do you know what? I'm not 100% sure on how Don West is good, but I believe that he's still going strong. So hopefully we'll find out a little bit more. Go on, Don. You got this, buddy. But no. So it'd be interesting to see where that goes. So we then go from the Briscoes being the Briscoes. In their backstage promo to obviously Steve Macklin versus Chris Sabin. Now, this has to be the match contender of the night for me. This was a great match, and this is how it went down. So Macklin is sent for a ride when Sabin hits him with a Hurricane Ronda in the early going. Sabin attempts a senton, but Macklin catches him in midair and hits a powerbomb into the apron, which, my God, looked like it hurt. Macklin remains in control with a double underhook backbreaker. Macklin sends Sabin crashing into the turnbuckles, then soars with an elbow drop off the ramp to the floor. Sabin is caught in the crosshairs as Macklin drives his shoulder into his midsection. Sabin counters Mayhem for All with great separation with a tornado DDT. Sabin hits a net breaker on the floor, followed by a missile dropkick in the ring. Macklin levels him with a clothesline for a very close near fall. Macklin rolls up Sabin with a hold on the ropes, but the referee catches him in the act. Macklin hits a German suplex, but Sabin comes right back with a strong clothesline. Sabin hits another tornado DDT, followed by the cradle shock to win. Now, one of the things that did happen during this match was, which you don't see these days, but there is the surprise schoolboy roll-up that happened in this match, and
Yeah.
I loved it because every time I see that, it always reminds me of the surprise schoolboy, I you know, he got a 2 count on it, and but it was no, this was a fantastic match. It was to and fro. I thought Steve Macklin was very unlucky to lose this match, but I could see why, because they're clearly setting something up here. Because obviously, if Steve Macklin was to beat Chris Sabin, that would be the end of it. So I think there's the potential here that one of the surprises that's going to turn up over the set of tapings, possibly at the Citrus Brawl this weekend, could be Steve Macklin's tag team partner. You know, from the new, well, the old tag team that they've got a new name now. I forgot what they call themselves now. But we saw them win at Wrestling Revolver a couple of weeks back. They're now the Wrestling Revolver Tag Team Champions. So I think we're going to get that. I think we're going to get his partner turn up. I forgot his name. Wesley
Blake, wasn't it?
Wesley Blake. That's it. Wesley Blake. He's been doing the Control Your Narrative stuff. But I got a funny feeling Wesley Blake is going to turn up. And then we're going to see some sort of kind of program with Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, obviously, as the Motor City Machine Guns versus Steve Macklin and Wesley Blake. I see this. I don't know. I can see this coming. I can see this coming. What are your thoughts?
That's another interesting option.
This match was incredible. Steve Macklin losing wasn't a shock to me. I think I picked him to win when we discussed it, but looking at it in long term, if Steve Macklin was to win, just like you said, that would be it between him and Sabin, and then it would be pointless dragging it on unless something major happened between them during the next set of tapings. But Steve Macklin's long term goal is to go for the world title. And I think this is going to be building up either to Slammiversary or possibly Bound for Glory, with the upcoming Gauntlet for the Gold. I think Steve Macklin's my pick is why he's going to win that one, or Chris Sabin is going to come down between one of those two, and then that'll go on to something else then. But this match, both of them looked incredible. And the guys in the chat are saying now, Eddie Edwards, Chris Sabin, and Madison Ray, you get any of them against anyone in the ring, and they make a match look fantastic. And Steve Macklin versus Sabin is just another example of put someone in with a veteran and they make you look fantastic. And they make you look gold. And Sabin's been wrestling for nearly 20 years or so, possibly over 20 years. And you wouldn't his experience shows you, but you wouldn't think he's as old as he's aged, if that makes sense. You'd expect someone who's been wrestling that long to be a lot older and all this sort of shit, and everyone then be saying he looks fantastic for a guy who's been wrestling for over 20 years.
Oh, he's amazing.
Chris
Sabin is almost in his prime.
Yeah. I mean,
he's amazing.
He's doing some of his best work now, and he's had 2 of the career-ending injuries.
Yeah, he's been with the company, I think, at least 17 years or so in total, on and off. I think
what you have to think about is with the injuries that he gained as well. I mean, he came back a little bit too soon, which gave him the second one.
Yeah.
He then had a major amount of time off. He made it. He was out of the ring for years, which is giving him that time to re-heal, recuperate. He was doing stuff behind the scenes. He was still working within the business. And then he comes back, and like you say, he's better than he ever was. Again, I think you're right. To lose to Chris Sabin is not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
But again, in this business, you can't win every match.
Exactly, you can't win every match. Otherwise, this is just going to kill your momentum.
And I think if
you've got to lose to create you've got to lose to create a potential feud, haven't you?
Yeah.
At some point. Yeah.
And I mean, if Macklin had one, what would have been next? You think, well, it's the world title, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So him losing. Well, I thought I'd expected him to win. Him losing, it didn't surprise me, and I'm glad as big a fan as I am of Steve Macklin, so please don't shoot me, put me in the crosshairs if you're watching. I'm glad the loss came, because it's just going to make Steve Macklin's momentum going forward even bigger.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is, it was already making sense that he was going to go for the world title. So you have to somehow kind of hold that back a little bit, because I don't think he's necessarily ready for the main event kind of scene. And I think if they're going to push Steve to that kind of main event level, then, you know, he needs a bit more time under his belt, I think. A bit more, you know, he's got a little bit more to prove before we sort of kind of get to that world championship level. I mean, look how long it's taken Josh Alexander to get there.
Yeah.
You know, it's taken him like 3 or 4 years now to get to this point that he's at. You know, and that's the thing, and that's Steve's been on the card now for like, you know, 12 months or so. So you know, it's not even that, I don't think yet, is it? Is it just under 12 months?
It's just.
I think it was July. I think it was July he came in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we've got a little bit of time. We've got a little bit of time yet before we can't just suddenly throw him into that sort of kind of main event world championship status. You know, he needs to win something else before we get anywhere near that. And that's why I'm saying I just have this feeling that they're gonna get him and Wesley Blake together. We're gonna get a program with the Motor City Machine Guns. They're gonna push that one forward, and then potentially, you know, maybe they're gonna end up putting the tag belts on those two, and then that gives him that even more credibility to move it forward. Now, you know, it's already been rumored that they're going to give Steve Macklin a push. Didn't say they were just going to give him a push on his own. Maybe they're going to give him a push with a tag partner, and that's how they're going to move it forward. You know, well, kind of a similar route like they did with Josh Alexander, if you think about it.
Yeah,
you know, he spent an entire year as a tag champion.
Yeah,
you know, so he's got a belt around his waist. They're pushing him. He's getting known. People know who he is, and then you start moving him in, you know, and then you start looking at maybe, you know, moving him forward into that world championship scene. I don't know. Well, we're just gonna have to wait and see how they put it out. But I have a feeling we are gonna get Macklin and Wesley Blake, and we're gonna get some kind of feud with the Motor City Machine Guns moving forward. That's what I can see. Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? We're not in those meetings, are we? We're not in those meetings, so we don't really know. But I just sort of kind of think that makes sense, and it makes sense to why Steve would then lose as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Considering how he's been pushed as an absolute badass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I think that'll be amazing. I'd love to see Wesley Blake come in. I think what I saw of them on Wrestling Revolver a couple of weeks ago,
they were incredible.
They were incredible team. They were an amazing team. So yeah, that's the sort of thing we want to see on Impact. That's for sure. They then go backstage again. We've got Deanna Peraza telling Gia Miller that win, lose, or draw against the AAA Rana de Reina's champion Taya Valkyrie tonight, she is still the virtuosa. I really like the way that they did this. Because again, I almost feel like Deanna doesn't necessarily need a title to be the top of the tree.
No, she doesn't.
I am the f***ing greatest.
Facts. I mean, facts are facts, right?
She's proven that you know, she's had the gold and she can be a main event star. So no, she's in the same position that Rosemary's in now. You know, she's just so over with the fans, love her or hate her. She's got talent behind her as well. You know, that alone is enough to just make a go. Bison, your mic is muted.
Like we were saying, so she's main evented, you know, Dynamite. You know, she's carried the Impact Knockouts title, twice? She's then become the Ring of Honor champion, carried that and defended that. She then the AAA champion. And this has all happened in like 18 months.
Yeah.
You know, there comes a point where you've got you know, you can't just keep having you just can't keep her in the title picture. You know, you've got to do something else with her at some point. So maybe there's going to be some point now where she sort of moves forward in some kind of blood feud. Maybe, I don't know, some kind of feud that doesn't involve a title. That's what she needs at this moment in time, and then maybe later on down the line you could bring her back into that title picture again, because I think somewhere along the line she's going to regain the Knockouts title at some point, but we just have to wait and see on that one. What's Gary saying there? Nope, she does not, Bison. She will always be a title contender now. She has established herself in the Knockouts division these last 2 years. Exactly. Totally agree with you, Gary. That's exactly where we're at. Nice to see Sean in the chat there as well. Nice to see you, bud. So we then go on to the next match, which is obviously the AAA Reigns Championship match. We got Valkyrie versus Deanna Purrazzo. So we got Purrazzo blindsides Valkyrie before opening bell to gain an early advantage. Purrazzo targets the elbow of Valkyrie as she stomps on it. Purrazzo wears her down with a series of submissions, which was just like submission after submission. Valkyrie breaks free and hits the blue thunder bomb for 2. Valkyrie hits a snap German suplex off the top rope. That was really good. Then counters Queen's Gambit into a double foot stomp. Valkyrie plants her face first into the canvas, but Purrazzo kicks out at 2. Purrazzo returns the favor as she then drives Valkyrie into the mat. Purrazzo hits the Queen's Gambit, but it's not enough to keep Valkyrie down. The referee stops Purrazzo from using the title as a weapon as Valkyrie rolls her up for the 3 to retain the AAA Reigns Championship. Now, I assume that this is what was going to happen anyway, because you know, I think that, like I say, this is the way of sort of almost putting it onto someone that's going to appear, you know, at more AAA shows. I think this makes total sense. I think that the AAA guys know that Taya Valkyrie is like over like shit on like just so over with the AAA fans. It's ridiculous. So it just totally makes sense. We then get, after the match, Purrazzo attacks Valkyrie from behind until Mia Yim makes her shocking impact return. Yim is about to hit the package pile driver, but Purrazzo breaks free and escapes up the ramp. So, yeah, I mean, Impact is now absolutely full of badass ladies.
BAM!
Yeah, bam! So great to see Mia Yim back. We've already hit on that earlier. But you know, welcome home, Mia Yim. Great to see you in the Impact Zone. And it's great to see that you're happy to be there as well. Yes, HBIC, baby. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this match and the way it ended?
The match was incredible. Deanna Purrazzo, like they carried off where they left off at Rebellion. The momentum in it was just was there. It was solid. Taya Valkyrie once again just showing this is where I belong, and Deanna Purrazzo not letting up. It was just such a great back and forth match, and I like how it ended. I like how it started, and I like how it ended. That it started off with Deanna Purrazzo continuing on this vicious, literally unhinged. She's completely unhinged almost. You know,
exactly.
Even the interview with Gia Miller, she was just snapping at her rather than letting her really talk. She was snapping and screaming at her. You know, she's really at breaking point. So when Mia Yim came out to blow all that momentum away from Deanna Purrazzo, that was really impressive. That was just, you can see that's where the blood feud that we were talking about earlier. That is going to be between those two, I think, Mia Yim and Deanna Purrazzo. As awesome as it would be to see Rosemary go back after her, I think it would be Deanna Purrazzo and Mia Yim will be going toe to toe up until Bound for Glory, or up until Slammiversary at least, and then Mia Yim goes on to the knockout title for Bound for Glory.
If she stays, yeah. Well, she's staying up to Bound for Glory.
She's staying up to Bound for Glory, and then they'll be saying what's happening next. So she'll be there definitely for the knockout title by Bound for Glory.
Yeah, man, totally. Yeah. Totally. Can I just say hello to Courtney? She's arrived. I'm not sure if she's going to be doing too much speaking if she had a dentist appointment. But But great to see you, Courtney. Thanks for joining us. And Zach Bonifer's turned up as well. So the house that Total Nonstop Impact UK built is starting to fill up tonight. It's starting to fill up.
Got a lovely roster tonight, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Absolutely superb. So, Steve, what were your thoughts on this match?
I've heard a few different opinions, but personally, I thought this was much better than the match that they had at Rebellion.
Yep.
I thought it flowed a lot better. I thought that something just clicked a lot better. And like Joe said, I like the start, how they just went for each other. I just thought that they clicked at the start a lot better, and I like the end, the aftermath of the match as well. I felt the finish for some reason for me just felt a bit flat. It got I like when Deonna went outside and got the belt and everything, but then I felt like Taya maybe should have hit her with a finisher or something rather than just a roll up. Something just felt like it was off.
Yeah.
But beyond that, everything else I thought was fantastic. Besides that little, if that is all the niggle is, then everything else, gets a 4.5 stars. I really liked match.
I really liked some of the sort of kind of like the acting stuff that was in the match as well. So there was a bit where like Taya was like, "Oh my god," when she was doing this, thinking, "Christ, how am I gonna beat her?" When she was giving her some of her best moves and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. Interesting. It was different.
There was a real moment when Deonna went and got the belt that I really thought she was going to do the Eddie spot, because I'm sure we saw that a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? I think.
Yeah.
Was it who done it a couple of weeks at one of the pay-per-view? Someone done it recently, didn't they? I can't think who it was.
I'm not sure, mate.
No, but I'm sure someone done it at either. I think it was Multiverse and Matches. Someone done it.
Okay. I can't remember off the top of my head, my friend.
Might have been Moose.
It might have been Moose. Yeah, I think Moose did it. Yeah, I think Moose done it. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So overall, I think the match was really strong. I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite matches of the night, so I was pretty cool with that. We then go backstage, and in an interview with Guillermo, Trey Miguel vows to reclaim his X Division title from Ace Austin tonight. So that was good. I think Trey's been getting much better at his promo stuff. His backstage stuff's been getting more and more believable. So I thought it was quite a good segment, that. So we then get Ace Austin versus Trey Miguel, X Division Championship match on the line here. Now, Miguel, so this is basically how it went down. Miguel attempts a springboard, but Austin brings him to the screen, to a screeching halt with an arm drag. Austin hits a running crossbody, sending both him and Miguel toppling to the floor. Austin hits a pinpoint kick to the chin of Miguel. Austin avoids a springboard moonsault, then delivers a stomp into the canvas for two. Miguel counters the fold, spikes him headfirst into the mat. Miguel locks in a modified Dragon Sleeper, but Austin fights out of it. Both men exchange strikes in the middle of the ring. Miguel almost puts him away with a split leg moonsault. But it's not enough. Miguel connects with the net breaker on the hardest part of the ring. Austin avoids the meteor. Is that what they call it? The meteor? Meteora. Then hits a fold to retain the X Division Championship. Now, this is an interesting one for me because I thought the match was absolutely fantastic. As always, when these two get in the ring, I actually saw these two get in the ring because live. So back when I went to the Melrose tapings in New York in 2019 before the pandemic and all that hit, that was slap bang in the middle of the I banged your wife or whatever it was.
It's been a bangorama.
And Trey's mum was apparently in the crowd and all that kind of stuff was going on there. And they had a match then, and it was a banger, mate. It was a fantastic match. And this match was better than that one. But whenever you get Austin and Miguel in the same ring, it's always a banger. This was a really good match. I was not expecting Trey to win. I was expecting Ace to retain because I think they want him to take that X Division title to Japan. But again, is Trey ever going to beat Ace Austin? It's like Ace Austin's got his number.
Yeah. If you've seen his post-match, Ace Austin's post-match promo on it, he just said it himself that Ace Austin is Trey Miguel's Achilles heel. He praised Trey Miguel for his athletic ability, but he just said, I'm not a liar. Every time you step in the ring with me, one-on-one for the title, I kick your ass.
Yeah.
And you didn't say kick his ass, he put it a bit more politely. But, Ace Austin this match was incredible. And without going over my endless praises for Ace Austin again and again and again, that net breaker that Trey Miguel did off of the side of the ring, that made my jaw drop. Of all the high flying moves and stuff, this really did have me going, oh shit, he really did get the worst out of that one.
Yes,
that was incredible. But the finish was fantastic, and like Ace Austin was inevitably going to win, and I think he is going to go and take the whole thing in Japan. I really do. But Trey Miguel's promo work, like you said earlier, that has definitely gotten better, and his emotion is coming through a lot more. And having to lose the title after all the recent stuff with his family, that must have hurt deep down as well. So he's channeling that, I think.
Yeah. And I agree with Bonus Baby there. That's what he's saying. He's still not beaten Ace Austin, so it's good long-term storytelling from Impact Wrestling.
Yeah. But it's been nice. It was nice to see a one-on-one X Division title match. We don't get to see them often enough, so that added to this, I think, as well. We don't see either too many rivalries when it comes to X Division. It's more a case of just we're facing off. It's nice to have that kind of rivalry. You can harbour back to like the AJ and Daniels and even Samoa Joe. They had rivalries for years. So this could really kind of be one of those things that could be the next thing that can kind of entail. And I mean, if these two can stick around for a long while, it could be one of those things that can kind of live in the X Division and then proceed into the main event as well, maybe.
One thing I didn't know was Ace Austin's like only the third guy to be in the X Division title more than twice. I thought there was more people. There's him, there's Trevor Lee, and I think it was Amazing Red, or I forgot who the other one was. But Tom Hannafin mentioned it on commentary, and when he mentioned that, I thought, wow, that's something really special there. That Ace Austin's winning this for the third time.
I mean, that's special on its own. That's special on its own. Just getting into that kind of elite group of people. If he goes on and wins it more than that later on, then that would be pretty cool too.
That's a record. That's a record broken then if he wins it more.
And I think he said as well, didn't he, that Trey was the fifth longest reigning champion back at Rebellion, which was quite a good rank. So they both hold pretty significant ranks when it comes to the X Division.
They do. So fantastic match. Got to be up there with the whole kind of like match of the night scenario for me. Fantastic. So we then move on, and of course we're then moving into what for me was again an absolute banger. Honor No More, Edwards, Tavern, Bennett, King, and Vincent, obviously with Maria Kanellis ringside, versus the Bullet Club of White Bay, Phantasmo, and of course the Good Brothers. Now, this is how that match went down. I mean, the match immediately turns to chaos as a huge ball erupts in and out of the ring. King hits Phantasmo with a big spine buster. Vincent goes for a slice spread, but Phantasmo counters and makes a tag to Bay. The pace quickens as Bay takes him off his feet with a moonsault dropkick. Incredible. White squares off with Tavern as the two exchange a flurry of blows. Bullet Club, do you know what I like about the Tavern thing? They keep referring with that. Is it they've actually got a long-term feud, Tavern and Bay, Tavern and White. They're kind of alluring to it on Impact Wrestling, which I think is really
that's going somewhere.
Anyway, definitely. Bullet Club take turns raking the back of Tavern until Honor No More hits the ring to break things up. Gallows takes out both Edwards and King with a double clothesline. Vincent hits Phantasmo with a flatliner for 2 count. Tavern turns Bay inside out with a twisting net breaker, which was cool, followed by just the tip to White. Moments later, another brawl breaks out as chaos reigns supreme. But in the ring, Bennett and Tavern hit the Proton Pack and Anderson to score the huge victory. Honor No More gets the victory. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, Honor No More need to win. They need to win stuff. They keep losing. Well, there you go.
Yeah. And
massive
I've
win.
seen a lot of people in the comments saying that they were surprised Honor No More won.
Yes, I agree. I was a little bit shocked as well, but I think what it tells you is that there is a lot more to come from Honor No More, because if they were pretty much done, then they would have lost, and that Honor No More thing probably would have fizzled out. But by them suddenly, I mean, they had a couple of losses and a couple of wins, but they've not looked particularly dominant. But now they look like a dominant force because they've just taken out the Bullet Club. That's a big V in my book. Big V. Well, I mean, the match as a whole I thought was fantastic. Just end-to-end stuff, super fast. You can see rivalries
it was almost faultless, this match. It was really good.
Yeah. This to me,
I didn't see any issues. I didn't see any.
This is what we should have got at Rebellion, you feel?
Yeah, possibly. But the main thing is that this was a hell of a match. They get the win. Honor No More is now moving forward with some momentum. So we just have to see. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I really am.
Yeah, it was a nice touch as well at the end when they said that Mike pinned Anderson when it started, when Anderson pinned Mike. That was a really nice touch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Poetic justice.
I agree. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Poetic justice. But yeah, there was loads and loads of interesting stuff which was going on. You could see like different rivalries in there as well. You could see where potentially, we've got King versus Bay this Thursday coming up. You could see how that was sort of kind of like, there was a bit of a thing in there with Chris Bay, Kenny King having a bit of a moment together, the two of them. The whole kind of mentor versus student thing going on. So there was some interesting rivalries, some like kind of like sub rivalries going on within the match itself.
I'm
looking forward to it.
I would say though, Chris Bay and El Phantasmo in and out of the ring, how good did they look together?
Amazing, absolutely.
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, they had great tag chemistry, and when they walked to the ring, they were in sync, like personality wise.
Yeah.
That could be a great tag team.
Yeah, it's a lot more solid than Hikuleo and Chris Bay.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I agree with that as well. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff being mentioned in the chat here, guys, with regards to this. So, like you say, Gary, you're right. Honor No More winning sort of kind of continues that feud. So that's a good thing. Mia's saying that Carl Anderson is to the Bullet Club, or Dina is to BBD, always seems to take the pin. Is it too early to give Scott D'Amore GM of the Year? No. So yeah, there's lots of interest, and again, bonus baby mentioned Maria's disco ball outfit, giving it a thumbs up.
Oh baby!
So that's interesting. El Phantasmo and Chris Bay for the Junior Tag League in New Japan. Ooh, yeah, there you go. How about that? That would be a hell of a team. Okay, so we then move on. We've got Tasha Steelz versus Havoc in the Knockouts World Championship match. And this is how that one went down. Havoc puts her power on display in the early going as she tosses Steelz into the corner of turnbuckles. Steelz retreats to the outside, but Havoc drives her back first into the steel ramp. Steelz takes a page out of Decay's playbook as she bites Havoc on the floor. Havoc crashes and burns on the steel steps. Back in the ring, Havoc bounces back with a Death Valley driver for 2. Steelz hits the springboard bulldog, but Havoc won't stay down. Steelz connects with the blackout to retain the Knockouts World title. Obviously, again, I'm going to say this. I'm still not 100%. Like I love Tasha Steelz. I love her. I think her promo work is amazing. Most of the time, her in work's pretty solid. But I think the last 2 championship matches she's had, one with Rosemary, now this one with Havoc, doesn't seem to be firing all 4 cylinders, on all cylinders to me. I think this one was better than with Havoc. I think she was stronger in this match than she was with Rosemary. I don't know. Does she have a problem with the bigger ladies?
I think it was a lot better, like you say, because she was out there by herself. And I'll give credit because this time she won it all by herself. I just don't think she's helped simply because she's on the same card as as Deonna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie. So you're watching a match earlier on in the night and thinking, wow, this is an amazing match. It's 5, 6 stars. And then you're watching another match later on the show thinking, well, this has got to live up to that. And thinking, well, it hasn't done that.
No, it's not quite as good.
Yeah, so you've got your expectations already set on a match that you've seen previously, and you're kind of comparing it.
Yeah.
So I think that is possibly the issue she's facing. She's on a card with other wrestlers who are she's going to happen to live up to.
I guess so, but I mean, Havoc is a badass wrestler. She's not bad.
Oh yeah,
she's a great wrestler. Got a great character. Yeah. I think what you're looking at though is you're looking at completely different styles. That's the thing that you've got here. I mean, Havoc is very power and sort of character driven, whereas Tasha is sort of kind of just going in there. Yes, she's the Barika badass. That's her character, but she's just going in and doing what she does. As a wrestler, whereas she doesn't carry that character. I don't think, like when she was part of Fire and Flavor, there was that whole kind of gig where where they're almost commentating their own match.
Yeah.
At times, I feel she's trying to do that because you can hear her. She's talking all the way through the matches. You can hear it, right? But I don't think it works as a singles. It's not working as a singles competitor.
It depends who you're wrestling, doesn't it? That's the trouble. If you're wrestling someone who is a very good dictator of the match, you might be able to get around it.
Yeah, so she was doing it to like Deonna Purrazzo. It would work a lot better because Deonna Purrazzo is the in-ring general of it, or Jordan Grace. If she was managing to get an advantage on them and trash talking in throughout the match, it would add more.
Yes. Sorry, there's a couple of people that are probably getting what we're talking about wrong, possibly. So Mir, what I'm trying to say here, I'm not saying that she's not good because she is. I think she's fantastic. She's got a great character, and she's a good knockouts champion. She deserves the opportunity to push that forward. I 100% agree with that. I'm not saying she's bad. And I think you're right, Dead Punk, as well, that she works best when she's facing a more technical worker. I'm not sure Tenille would be a good example of that, but Alicia possibly. Hard to wrestle. It is harder to wrestle when you're talking about a more power-based competitor. You're right. I totally agree with that. But let's just see where this now pans out. Who's she going to be facing now? They've taken Savannah away from her side. Where is Savannah? What is Rosemary done with her? Are we going to get a repackaged Savannah now? Because I think Savannah's I think her character's a bit boring, to be honest. Her gear is a bit boring. They need to do something with her. They've signed her now. Let's give her some character. Let's give her some story. Let's get her out there, wrestling and being a badass. She is a badass. She's strong. Let's work on her strengths and see what we can do with that. So I'm not saying that she's bad. I'm just saying that I think possibly.
That's an interesting comment.
What's that? Yeah, maybe a speed issue with someone like Mickey who can match Tasha's speed. It works, but Havoc and Rosemary trying to speed up or Tasha trying to slow down doesn't quite meet in the middle. Yeah, maybe that's what it is, Bonus Baby. You know, because we are used to seeing Tasha flying around the ring. You can't do that with a Havoc. You know, and Rosemary again, she's more of a methodical. You know, and again, same with Havoc. They're methodical, power-based wrestlers. You know, that's what they do.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think he's hit the nail on the head perfectly.
Yeah, that's a great call. Yeah,
I think
so-
I think Mickey James is still like going to make another return. I think Tasha Steele, she's constantly calling out Mickey James whenever she gets a chance to. Mostly online now, so I think that Mickey James is going to come back possibly at Slammiversary for one last crack at the title, and then that will be where Tasha Steele really cements herself as a strong champion. But so it's not long to wait now, which is for those who are really critical of her, that's a good thing. But I was hoping we would have seen Tasha Steele and Jordan Grace come face to face, given that they had a bit of history. But Jordan Grace is gone elsewhere, so that's or Tasha Steele and Chelsea Green would have been another great option too. But Chelsea Green's gone with Matt Cardona and Brian Myers.
Yes.
So they really had no options. So they had Rosemary and Havoc, or do we chuck her in a match with Alicia Edwards, who's never even come up against her before, and see what happens then. So they just had to go with what they've got at the moment. But it's all kind of coming ahead at Slammiversary, I think. We're going to see something really special then.
Oh dear, love it. So yeah, lots to come. And that's interesting, Dead Punk. You're right. Yeah, maybe Tasha's going to go out of her way to challenge Taya for Slammiversary. Yeah, that's interesting.
That would be a really good match too, to be honest.
However, if what I've heard is true, that's not going to happen. But we'll see. So we then move on. We've got Violent by Design, obviously Eric Young and Dina. There's your first clue. With Joe Doring by their side versus the Briscoes, Impact World Tag Team titles. Now, as soon as Dina came out as Eric's partner, I'm like, okay, they're dropping the titles. Because for some reason, they are not allowing anybody to pin Joe Doring. And of course, they don't want anyone to pin Eric, so it has to be Dina. So, anyway. So this is how this one went down. The Briscoes bring the fight to VBD before the opening bell. Doring goes face-to-face with the Briscoes, allowing Young and Dina to attack them from behind. The match is underway as Mark launches himself over the top rope, taking out Young on the floor. Jay is next to fly as he collides with Dina. Violent by Design turns the tide on their way as they wear the Briscoes down. Mark picks Dina off the top, slams him into the mat. Mark hits Dina with a running boot, followed by a net breaker bomb for 2. Young spikes Mark with a Death Valley driver for a near fall of his own. Mark almost puts Young away following the top rope elbow drop. Young bites Jay, then connects with the signature elbow drop. The Briscoes hit the Doomsday device on Dina to win the match and become the new Impact World Tag Champions. Now, I think we were all expecting the Den Boys to win this one. I think if you were going to bet against it, you're silly. However, as soon as Eric and Dina came out, or as soon as Dina came out as the one that was going to be in the match, I knew that VVD were going to lose. Because whenever they need someone to be pinned, it's always him.
Yeah.
So, shame. I was hoping that VVD were going to win, and it was going to lead to a bit more of a feud before the Briscoes eventually won, possibly at Slammiversary. But what were your thoughts on this match? Because for me, this match was bloody fantastic. I think the Briscoes are a phenomenal team. They are a phenomenal team. So let's go with you, Steve. I know you're a big fan of these boys. So what were your thoughts on this one?
Oh yeah, like you say, this match was absolutely fantastic. This is obviously the match we saw on Impact was my first proper time watching the Briscoes and seeing them in there against Violent by Design, who we know are a fantastic team. The Ooze character. This match was as good as we thought it would be. And as disappointed as I was to see Dina come out, part of me wanted to think, well, what if he does get the pin? You know, there's that kind of option, isn't there, that could create some intriguing story. Obviously, sadly, it wasn't to be. And it does kind of create that intrigue because obviously when Rhino ate the pin that lost them the titles, we saw what happened there. So does this kind of lead to maybe Dina getting kicked out?
I don't know because Dina is very VBD, isn't he?
He is, yeah. But it's one of those things where obviously, as we know, this was an important match. I mean, you know, it's an interesting one. And like I say, and it's one of those where you look at the match and, yeah, the crowd were very Briscoe heavy. So it was the right move. It was the right move to do it. But again, Violent by Design have now had 2 title reigns and both of them were very short. So I don't know what comes next for Violent by Design. I really don't.
No, nor do I. I don't know either. Unless, like you say, I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know. The thing is, they've got Joe Doring, and when you've got Joe Doring in your corner, you know you're a badass team, regardless. You're a badass faction when you've got someone like that. I honestly believe they're going to bring someone else in. I don't think it's going to stay as a 3-man faction. I just got this feeling there's someone coming in to join Violent by Design, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But for me, the Briscoes were just absolutely phenomenal. They were in with the legend Eric Young, who never has a bad match.
Yeah, a quick note on Eric Young. First time I think we've seen him without his knee brace on.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, I never even noticed that. So that's interesting, actually. And that's an interesting one.
That's an interesting one, yeah.
Stu Grayson in VBD, that would be very interesting. And I think Dead Punk's mentioned their Big Dama or Alexander Wolf would be awesome as well.
I think Alexander Wolf's in Germany, isn't he?
I don't know, mate, to be honest.
No?
I don't know, but he only takes a flight, doesn't it? And he's all the way back.
But
it's good to see. And like I said, you know, the promo that they did later as well was just mental. The guys, you know, that they are just. They're just basically they're like wrestling 101. They're very much like the whole a tag team that you would expect to see in the Bush leagues. Just this they're just so damn redneck, it's ridiculous. But in a very, very endearing way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think they're fantastic. So.
Oh, Gary Stewart with a bloody great option for another member.
Former Bram.
Yeah, that would be fucking brilliant if he could come back.
Yeah,
my thought on the match. When Violent by Design lost, I would have been miffed if we didn't have Crazy Steve on last week because he touched on something then that clicked for me during this match, and that was that guys like him, you know, they're story driven. And that they'll go for a title if it's part of the storyline, and they're happy to do so. Eric Young is the same, and Dina is the same. You know, they've been wrestling for combined to be about 46 years in total. If you put both their careers together, so you know, they're there to put the talent over. They're there. They'll take a title if it helps push a storyline forward, and that's what that's what Violent by Design have been doing. You know, if we didn't have that interview last week, and I would have been really, really negative about this match, just from the results on its own. But the match itself, ignoring the result, was fantastic, and I loved it. And the Briscoes were over as soon as they came in, took Heath and Rhino out, and that was a bit of a shock for me too to see. You know, I thought, oh god, so we know that they're going to win, but then I don't know. Crazy Steve helped settle the madness in my mind down a lot more. So it was humble to see Violent by Design lose, because you know now we're probably going to get the Good Brothers versus them boys after the Multiverse of Matches result. So that's probably coming Slammiversary, maybe Bound for Glory, which is going to be a huge match to see them two guys hit again. And it gives Violent by Design a bit more wriggle room now. You know what's going to happen with Dina, like we said. I think someone like Bram or someone like Madman Fulton would be great to put in there. Although if Fulton was to come back, I would like
Jeff
to see
just
him go
mentioned
solo.
that in the chat. Actually, he just mentioned maybe a repackaged Fulton. Coming into BBD. We need to see someone else being baptized in the waters of change.
Yeah, they can go really dark now. They can go really dark, because this is like the second big time Eric Young's chosen one out of Violent by Design has lost. Rhino was their chosen one. He lost. Dina was the original chosen one. He's lost again. Well, he's not going to sacrifice Joe Doring. So what's he going to do now?
Yeah, he's going to pull somebody in, definitely. Nice to see you, Anna. Welcome to the show. She's on her break at work. Look at that. And what's she doing? She's getting in on the boys. I love it. Okay, so after the new tag team champions of Briscoes win the title, we then get the former Impact World Champion Moose address the crowd in the middle of the ring. Moose says that he's done some terrible things over the last few months, but he doesn't regret his actions because they made him the greatest champion that Impact Wrestling has ever seen. Moose complains that he only had 5 days to prepare for his Impact World title rematch, which he lost to Josh Alexander. The lights out. The lights go out. The only thing I was going to say is they used the lights going out thing too much, I thought, because they also did that for Mia Yim as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
But anyway, what?
I was going to say it was only twice.
2 or 3. Yeah, but just be a bit more creative. Come on.
What else would you done?
I don't know, but you didn't necessarily need the lights to go out for Sammy, and you didn't necessarily need to have that promo thing come up either. Sammy could have come in out of the crowd or something. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? There could have been something else. He could have done something different. But anyway, so what was it I was saying? So the lights go out. We get the shocking return of Sami Calhoun. Goes face to face with Moose. Calhoun attacks him with his signature baseball bat, then lays him out with the Cactus Driver 97. One thing to mention: he's no longer the draw. He is back to being the Death Machine. Even changed it on his Twitter. He's all over the place. He's got rid of the draw. He's back to being the Death Machine. Is this a significant thing moving forward? I think it possibly is. Crowd went crazy. He's clearly a face. The way that he sort of kind of went around and slapping hands and getting in with the crowd, all that kind of stuff. That's what I'm saying. If he'd have come in through the crowd, it would have been awesome, because then he'd go back and do what he did with the whole sort of kind of getting in with the crowd and the camera taking that shot when he's sort of slap banging him with those 5 or 6 guys behind him, all going, we loved all that stuff. I think that was great. So, but yeah, no, it was great. I mean, we all knew obviously Sammy was coming in, but we didn't know when he was going to come in. But it was a cool moment. I think as soon as the lights went out, we knew that was where he was coming in at that moment. But I would, like I said, I think it would have been so much better if he'd have just basically ran down to the ring or something, or come in over the the barriers and attack Moose that way or something. I don't know. I just think you've already used the lights out thing. You don't use it twice. Time to be a bit more creative. So that was the only thing I think I was a little bit disappointed with, to be honest. I'm sure AEW do use it, mate, but I wouldn't know because I only ever watch highlights and I think AEW sucks. But there you go. But yeah, so interesting. So what we got there from Gary. Sammy wanted Moose to know he was coming for him, I guess, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know.
Sammy's been saying that since his leg was broken. The first thing he's doing is he's
Yeah.
coming for Moose.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just toning down what he's been saying.
Yeah. No, I agree. But so it's all good. I think we're everyone is extremely happy to have
Yeah.
Mr. Calhoun back in the Impact Zone, and I think we're all excited to see where it goes, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, we're
And
gonna
it makes
get a
sense that he
huge-
comes back from Moose.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah, totally. I agree. Moose has
Be-
to be his first target.
Be interesting if he goes after Morrissey as well.
Yes, of course. Yeah, but again, I think you might need 2 baseball bats, possibly a ladder.
Or an axe.
Chop his legs off. I don't know. He's got to do something. But yeah, so great to have Sammy back in the Impact Zone. Really happy. But there you go. So we then get obviously the main event of the night. So we got the Impact World Champion Josh Alexander versus Tomohiro Ishii for the World Champions, the Impact World Championships. And this is pretty much how it went down, lads. So Alexander delivers a series of chops in the corner. Ishii hits a vertical suplex to gain the momentum. Now it's Ishii who chops Alexander as he mixes in a flurry of strikes. Ishii begins to target the neck and the throat area of Alexander. Moments later, Alexander hits the big boot. Can't be a good big boot. Followed by a running crossbody to Ishii's back. Alexander hits a trio of German suplexes, but Ishii kicks out at 2. Ishii connects with a thunderous belly to back suplex, which was pretty badass. Alexander locks in the ankle lock with Ishii, rolls through on the ankle lock of his own. Alexander counters and locks in the ankle lock again and again. But this time, Ishii rolls to the ropes in order to make the break. Alexander spins off to his shoulders for a very close near fall. Ishii counters a C4 spike into a back body drop, but Alexander comes right back with a German suplex. What would you expect? I tell you what, an angle slam would have been good there. Ishii hits a delayed vertical superplex. Alexander powerbombs Ishii into his knees, but misses the moonsault. Alexander hits a powerbomb, followed by the C4 spike to score the victory. Joe Alexander the winner and still Impact World Champion. Obviously, Alexander celebrates holding the world title above his head, and Under Siege goes off air. So, my thoughts on this one was, I think this was, I thought this was easily, if you're into strong style, and I'm going to say that, if you're into strong style, this was easily the match of the night. If you're not, then you might not have liked it. But if you're into it, this was a fantastic match. What were your thoughts on this one, Steve?
Yeah, you say this was your Japanese strong style type of match, and it's significant. I can't say the word. It personified that perfectly. I mean, Josh wrestles over there quite a lot now, doesn't he?
Yeah, Tom Hanlon mentioned how often he's doing it a lot more, and he's adapting a lot more to it, and it showed.
Yeah, I was going to say you can see that quite a lot, and I mean, I think even Ishii kind of adapted quite a lot, because a lot of his wrestling you see quite a lot of the same kind of moves, whereas there's a lot of bits and pieces in this match that I hadn't even seen before, which was quite nice. Really, you actually felt like he was in a world title match. I think it shocked Josh a few times. You're like, okay. So yeah, this was a fantastic match, and a really great way to end the pay-per-view. I mean, there might, like you say, there might be a few people who feel like, well, this wasn't much of a match, but it's all to taste.
It's taste and style, isn't it? It's style. It's style based.
I will give a shout out to Matthew Waywalt, because there was a moment in this that where I think Ishii gave Josh a knee. And I think you know where I'm going with this. And he go and Josh goes down. He goes, and Timber.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's right. I remember that. That was funny. Yeah, that was really fun. Can I just say a quick thank you to Anna for the super sticker? You've only been here 5 minutes, sweetheart, but thank you very much. Go on, Joe. What about you? What were your thoughts on this one?
This, like you just said, if you in-ring action-wise, this was the match of the night, and storytelling-wise, this was match of the night for any fan really. It was just play-by-play one of the best matches Josh Alexander's had since his singles run began, and that's even going up against the match he had against TJP to win the X Division title, which was just incredible. I love this match. Well, Steve said it. We saw a lot more from Ishii than we did when he took on like Eddie Edwards or when he took on Jonah. But then, of course, he had a lot with Josh Alexander. He had a lot more room to experiment with than he did with those two. Because with Eddie Edwards, he was wrestling a Japanese style match with Eddie Edwards because he was representing Pro Wrestling Noah rather than representing Impact Wrestling, and Jonah was just a big, massive dude. So you can't change much when you're facing him.
Yeah.
But
totally.
we saw a bit of everything from everybody in this, and Josh Alexander just showed how much endurance how much shit he's going to put up with from everyone to hold on to this title. So I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to face him at Slammiversary, and I hope they bring their A game because it's going to take a long time. It's going to be a while before Josh Alexander loses his belt, and
I think so too.
I think so brilliant.
Too. Can I just say thank you very much, Courtney, for your super sticker? Very much appreciated. She only turned up halfway through the show and she's smashing the super stickers up. I don't know. You guys. Thanks very much for it. We do appreciate it. We really do. So Gary's talking about their getting the old fit Finley. He loves to fight, just like Josh. Yeah, you're right. He certainly does. But yeah, no, it was a hell of a fight. It was a hell of a match, and I'm gonna say it was a toss up, depending on your styles. I say match of the night for me is a toss up between the main event, obviously because I loved it, the X Division title match, and I'm gonna go with the tough. I'm gonna say it's a real toss up between Honor No More versus a Bullet Club match and the Briscoes versus VBD is sort of my third favorite. It's very close.
That's about half the card there.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
It's just hard. It was just such an amazing match. It's such an amazing show. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I think it was superb. Real top notch. And I always knock off at least one because at the end of the day, always could be better.
Yeah, and I don't think there was any production issues this time either, which was nice.
Everything flowed. Sound was good. The crowd sounded ridiculous.
Yep. And like I say, I've never been a fan of the ramp, but I'm happy. I'll take it for one night as a change up, to give the show a different look.
Yes, I agree. I'm of the opinion that maybe they're going to hit the sort of kind of like reboot button at Slammiversary. I'm hoping that when we get to Slammiversary, we get a new set. I'm really hoping. And I'm not saying, I'll tell you this now, I'm not saying they want to get rid of and totally change the set they got at the moment. I just think it needs a little bit more added to it. There's nothing wrong with the things coming down and all that. They could still use them. I just feel
freshen it up
they need something just to freshen it up, give it a little bit of a slightly different look. Even if the bloody things were going up instead of going down, like it would add something different. Or you had some of them going down, like in the back of the stage, and then at the front of the stage you had like going up, like going. Do you know what I mean? So they're going that way, like from the front of the stage, and then they're going that way in the back of the stage. Do you know what I mean? Like just something just to give it that little bit different. Make it that little bit different. Freshen the look up a little bit. Maybe the screens, maybe add 2 more smaller screens on either side. So you got the big one in the middle, just to give it that more sort of kind of like big time feel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm sort of looking at. I think that's what I'm going at here. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for Under Siege. And like I said, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts? What would you give it out of 10, Joe?
I don't like to slap numbers on, but what I will say, this was easily one of the best events of the whole year, up there with Hard to Kill 2022, up there with Slammiversary 2018, 2019, when we had Sandy Calhoun versus Pentagon Jr. It was that it was just faultless end to end from the pre-show through to the main event. I absolutely love this. And Honor No More versus the Bullet Club, or the exhibition title match would have been match of the night if the main event was a total flop. But then if the main event was a total flop, they'd have to kick Josh Alexander out of the match entirely for it to be bad.
Never happened. never has a bad match ever.
That's what I mean. Yeah, they'd have to have it, or they would have to rush the match to an end, which would have been usually down to an injury, which would have been a horrible thing to happen. So,
fair enough.
Something like that. But or if the main event which just didn't happen at all for whatever reason, Honor No More versus the Bullet Club was an incredible match. I expected the Bullet Club to come out on top as much as I wanted Eddie Edwards to win, and his team came through, and their post-match promo was incredible as well. And the exhibition title match was just fantastic as well. Ace Austin deserved every moment of that. And
I think as much as we've had all these sort of in the recent weeks, all this, what's going on with Honor No More, blah, blah, blah. I think they're around for a little while. So I'm looking forward to seeing how much more they get. Maybe they're all on 6-month deals. We just don't know, do you? Yeah. But Steve, what were your thoughts in the end? What were your thoughts in the end on Under Siege?
Yeah, like you said, I think this is one of the better Impact, the better monthly specials that we've seen for a while. I think that they've been really good for a while, but I think this one has just tipped it over the edge I think we gave Hard to Kill a 10, 9.5. I'd easily give this 9.5. I don't think it was quite as good as Hard to Kill, but it was near enough as good.
Yes. Fantastic. I'd love to know what you guys think. What would you guys in the chat give Under Siege out of 10? I'd love to hear what you guys think in terms of quality. Like I said, we didn't seem to have any production issues. Everything flowed really, really well. All the matches were pretty damn good. So let us know what you thought. Let us know what you think. Anyway, so we move on to the Digital Media exclusive match, which is Swinger, Sticky Rice, and Shogun versus Morrissey, Jordan Grace, and the returning Hell Yeah! Give me a shell, yeah! Come on, because Shark Boy said so.
I can turn it on anytime, Pat. Come on, no problem.
Exactly. And I'll tell you what, if you want to see a fun match, this was a really, really fun match. I love
you guys swing.
If you haven't seen it yet, it's well worth checking this one out. If you're able to get it now, go and check it out. If not, got to wait till Saturday. It's a good match. It's a really, really good match. Yeah, loved it. Shark Boy coming back was amazing. But anyway, and I tell you what, Tom Hannafan and Matthew Raybolt as well on commentary, they were absolutely superb. They were
lapping it up.
They were loving it. The nostalgia, just the funness of the match, and there was some great wrestling on display as well. It wasn't just comedy; there was some good stuff on display. So yeah, definitely worth checking it out. Like I said, if you're able to watch it now, go and check it out. If you're not, it's available for free, I believe, on Saturday. So go and check it out.
Yeah, so Shark Boy looked absolutely great, and it's great to see Shogun. Hopefully, we see him soon because they, as I said, he was 2020 winner, and it's now 2022.
Yeah, but I mean, at least he's on the. But at least he's turning up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was obviously at the set of tapings, so maybe we're going to see a bit more of him.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, but I like I say, I like that we're seeing more tag team offense from Grace and Morrissey.
Yeah,
they work so well together.
Yeah.
Anna Reid say maybe you'll get your interview with Shark Boy. Do you know what? I've tried. Like I've sent emails. I've been on his website to try and get contact with him. He doesn't accept messages on Twitter, and I can't find him on Facebook. So or Instagram. So I don't know if it's ever going to happen. But I'd love to have an interview with Shark Boy, like 100%. Because the thing is with Shark Boy is you're not only talking about Sharky, but you're also talking about all the great talents that he's trained over the years, because he's renowned as a top trainer in the business.
Yeah.
So there's so much he's got to talk about, not just TNA, not just Impact related, but he's got a lot to talk about, that young man.
You have to really push the boat out and see if you get an interview with the Prince Justice Brotherhood.
Yes,
all three of them at once.
Yes. Can you put Gary's comment there, please?
Well, it's a match with Johnny Swinger in. So, what do you guys think the results are going to be? Leave it in the comments.
Great point. Yeah, Swinger on one side, Morrissey on the other.
Oh no! This match, I quoted last night before I went to sleep. I pissed myself laughing. It was so good, and the commentary really helped carry this match too. Not that it needed any momentum to help, because it wasn't dull, but the commentary were really into it. Like you said, Tom Hannafin especially really going back to Shark Boy back in TNA.
Yeah,
and it was just so good. And Matthew Raywell trying not to burst out laughing when Shark Boy's biting Swinger on the ass.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. But of course,
Yeah.
it just goes to show how much of a fan Tom is, though,
Yeah.
of TNA. This is where you find out in reality how much of a fan he really was, because he really was going into the depths and talking about all sorts of stuff. I love the fact that they were, at one point, they were talking about all the different sharks.
Yeah.
That was quite funny as well. But there you go.
Yeah, all the freshwater sharks and everything. And
That's right.
And the finishing with Jordan Grace and W. Morris, when they came out together on the ramp, you could feel that there's something there. Hopefully, hopefully there's going to be a big push for them in the tag division. Just even if it's just a short-term bump to just give it some extra hype, because they were fantastic together.
They were really good, and that, like I say, that finishing move is really good. I love the fact that she was like, "Give him up, get him up. I want it. I want him." And, like, I'm not being funny. Shogun's got to be 300 plus pounds. He's got to be nearing 350, I reckon.
Yeah,
he's got to be near on 350 pounds, I'd say. But yeah, no, he's fantastic, And Gary's just busting your balls, Mir. He's just busting your balls, mate. Just deal. You got to take it like a true gent. Take it like a true man. Come on. But yeah, so it's a great match. It's definitely worth checking it out. If you haven't already, go and check it out. And obviously, we're not going to give you the winners, but make sure that you go and check it out. It's good. I'm assuming that we're going to get some more golden moments from Shark Boy over the next over the set of tapings as well, to put forward over the next couple of weeks.
We might have to get ourselves tested after this.
I think we are, boys. I think we are. But yeah, Shogun's going to be good. Yes, Anna, please put in a good word for me so I can interview the Shark Boy. That would be amazing. Because I want to do my impression of him, when I'm on there as well, Got to get into my sort of Shark Boy / Steve Austin, impression. I can do it. You know what I mean? Anyway, BTI match: Aiden Prince versus Trey Miguel. That's going to kick off BTI, or kick off the night's wrestling. Thursday night Impact, as they say. Again, Aiden Prince, fantastic wrestler. Trey Miguel, fantastic wrestler. This is a not to miss match. I think it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. If you love the X Division style, don't miss this match. That's all I got to say. What about you, boys?
And Aiden Prince and Ace Austin, not Aiden Prince and Trey Miguel. They had a long history together. When Ace Austin debuted and Aiden Prince was there too, and it was Ace Austin hitting Aiden Prince with that stick that made him go heel. When he arrived, everyone thought Ace Austin was going to be babyface. And like
Yes.
a week later, he smacked Adrian Prince with that stick, and then that was it. That's all she wrote. So I've been waiting to see these two go at it one-on-one for a very, very long time. And I'm
Sorry,
really looking.
I said Trey, didn't I? It is Ace, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really looking
Sorry.
forward just to seeing this. I've been waiting for this for a very long time, and Adrian Prince is incredible. You know, he had a match with Trey Miguel a couple of weeks ago. I forgot what the promotion was because Lady Frost had a match there too. That was a good match, you know. And this is going to be fantastic, and it's a great way to remind everyone that Ace Austin is your champion while he goes to Japan.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's definitely going to go to Japan with that title belt. That's for sure. It's going to be amazing. And you're right, Gary. It's taken 2 years to get Shogun on the show, but there you go. Now, I think he did. I think he's done a couple of explosion matches as well.
One with Doring and one with Shearer, was it?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I mean, he was squashed, obviously. Actually, I think the match he had with Doring was pretty good, and the Shearer one, funny enough. I think they were both pretty good matches. He wasn't squashed. No, they were pretty good matches, but that's pretty much it. Just a couple of explosion matches, and then obviously we've now got him on the digital media one.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be at the set of tapings. But Shogun was security at Philly, so there you go. So he's been there, you know, doing stuff. Hopefully we'll get to, like I say, hopefully we get to see him in the ring a bit more.
And I say they've just done the last set of gut checks as well, haven't they? So I mean, it'd be cool if we had like a gut check faction or something.
Oh yeah, but wouldn't that be very similar to the Nexus? I guess.
Well, they could be like, "Oh no more." You know, we've done this, and you guys aren't using us. What the hell are you going to do with us?
Yeah. That's true. That is true. Actually, you're right. But then we move on to Impact Wrestling tomorrow night, and then we don't know what order any of this is going to be in, but we've got the Influence versus Giselle and Alicia Edwards. For the Knockouts tag title match. So we get a tag title match tomorrow night on Impact. What was it you were telling me? I forgot what is it there was some sort of Alicia was coming up with some new name or something.
Yeah, Alicia Edwards has nicknamed this team Divalicious.
That's it, Divalicious.
So
we're looking forward to that. We got Divalicious versus the Influence. It could be interesting. I think it's probably going to be quite a good match, to be fair. Especially if Madison Rain's in the ring majority of the time for the Influence, and I'm sure it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this one. Actually, I think it's going to be a good match. What are your thoughts, guys?
I'm surprised it's happening this early. Thought it would.
Yeah. You would have thought they might have sort of kind of like added another singles match in there, like they normally do. You know, maybe a Edwards versus Tenille or something.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm sure it'll be a good match. I kind of don't feel it'll end clean. I feel something will happen, or I think this will lead on to something else.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it definitely lead on to it. Either way, it's good to see that we're getting, we're getting Knockouts tag team title matches.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be good to see how that one goes. We then got Phantasmo and Jay White versus Ishii and Alexander. So we got 2 tag matches on this one.
Wow.
This will probably be pretty badass as well. I mean, in fairness, you've got Phantasmo, Jay White, and obviously Ishii as well. I mean, they've all probably wrestled each other at some point at New Japan, I should imagine. But and then obviously, Ishii we know is a badass, and we've got Josh Alexander. We're getting a lot of Ishii, aren't we? When you think a month ago we had one match on AEW possibly. I don't know, maybe 2. But we seem to be
him sticking around for a while.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
He'll probably run for the set of tapings and then go on his way. I think.
Certainly this set of tapings. If you've got him there for the 2 days, you might as well use him, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
So fantastic. That could be hell of a match. I can't wait to see Phantasmo going at it. I think they'll make a good team. I'm surprised. Well, I know White because obviously Chris Bay's busy doing something else. But I thought they might be sort of kind of pushing the old Jay and Bay connection thing a bit more, but they don't need to. At the end of the day, Bullet Club. That's how it works. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. But what's this?
Ishii for X Division.
yeah,
interesting.
Maybe you never know. But so we then also got Kenny King versus Chris Bay. Now, obviously, that's why Bay's not with Jay White at this moment. But yeah, we saw the sort of kind of beginnings of this. I think last Thursday, actually. Then that sort of kind of got a little bit more leading into this, a little bit more at Under Siege, where the sort of kind of mentor versus student thing was being plugged a little bit in the 5-man tag match.
Yeah.
And now we're getting Kenny King versus Chris Bay, mentor versus student 1-on-1. I think this is going to be a bloody good match. We all know how good Kenny King is, and we all know how good Chris Bay is. So I think we're going to get a seriously good match. I think this is going to be I think you're right, Dead Punk. I think this is going to be a show stealer, this
Definitely.
match. Any thoughts before we move on to the next one?
I'm really looking forward to seeing this. It's been building from just over the match at Under Siege. Matthew Rainbow and Tom Hannafin really did plug in that these two are like Alex Shelley was with Jay White. They met student mentor and that sort of thing. So this is going to be really good to see another one of these matches. I love these matches where it's like the superior goes against their student type thing. I think that I always enjoy these matches, so I'm looking forward to it.
And again, just like Randy Sam has just said there as well, you've got two former X Division champions going at it, which is pretty cool. So that makes an interesting story as well. So
they both got, both kind of want the upper hand and everything, and it also plays with the story as well. I can see Bay coming out the winner. I think he needs it as well.
Yeah. Bay will probably win this one, definitely, and it makes sense. It does.
Which kind of leads me to feel like you might have the Ishii and Alexander beat the other Bullet Club.
Oh, really?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
You sort of feel if Bay's winning this, they could lose the other one.
Okay. All right.
The order of these matches is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I agree because I think it's going to start off with the Gauntlet for Gold. So we've got the Gauntlet for Gold going on as well. Either that or the Gauntlet for Gold is the main event, or it's the opening match.
It's probably the end. It's because it's probably going to end with a stare down in it.
Maybe. Yeah, of course it's to find out, because the Gauntlet for Gold is to find out who's going to face Josh Alexander at Slammiversary, isn't it?
Yes.
So there you go. It's going to be. I think it's going to be somebody that you don't expect. Let's put it that way.
Josh's post-match promo at Under Siege, he was calling anybody from any company to come in.
So I think in this gauntlet, in the Gauntlet for Gold, we could have a few debuts going on in that.
Yeah,
it's a good opportunity to have a few debuts, isn't it? Something like that, because you don't know who's necessarily going to be in it. So I'm looking forward to that. I think we might potentially get another knockout match as well at some point.
I still think it's going to be. Yeah, I still think from the Gauntlet of the Gold, you're going to get something that's going to knock back to the original, like the original TNA. Like we could see someone like Chris Sabin. Even we could even see someone like a Jeff Jarrett walk in. Someone to knock back to the original NWA TNA days. I think can come out of
possibly.
This.
Yeah, possibly. Well, then the only one really could be Eric Young.
Nick Aldis.
Mate. Yeah.
Nick Aldis. Get off my show.
Could we see James Storm turn up again?
Oh, that would be fantastic. Storm
Yeah.
versus Josh Alexander would be amazing.
Definitely don't bring her back. I'll tell you that. Yeah, James Storm would be good. James Storm would be good. What about if we got someone like let me have a think. Oh, I'm just trying to think about people that could still be around.
Who's available? I mean, as you know,
that's the difficulty, isn't it? That is the difficulty. Who's actually not currently contracted to like WWE, like the big names, really? If you think about it, like your Bobby Roode, your AJ Styles, which would be amazing.
Would someone like a Monty Brown be up for it?
Oh yeah. Period. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, Monty Brown would be amazing, but I can't see it happening. I'm not sure when the last time he wrestled was, but
no, I know that they've.
I think the possibilities are you could see maybe a Samoa Joe, obviously, because he's not now with WWE and we've got the Forbidden Door. We've already had Christian Cage, so I can't see it being Christian Cage.
No. Chris Daniels, briefly.
Maybe. Kazarian, maybe. I'm not really sure, really, who it could be, unless, like, say, well, there you go, Kurt Angle, maybe a Kurt Angle, but then he's not going to win. He's not going to come in and do a gauntlet match, I wouldn't imagine.
No.
I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see.
I'd even be down for, like, with going against Josh Alexander, the original, the very first NWA champion, Ken Shamrock.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, that would be pretty cool. That would be an amazing kind of drawback to the very first, the very first sort of kind of champion, or however you want to put it. That would be quite good. Yeah. Yeah, Joey Janela. What about that? No, I don't know. He's nothing to do with TNA. What are you talking about?
I don't see that as a headliner for Slammiversary personally.
Definitely not. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. But the one thing about having these sort of kind of gauntlet for gold type things is anyone can turn up. So I'm imagining Shark Boy's going to be in that.
Yeah, imagine Shark Boy winning it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We've had one of the people rooting for him in the chat already for Shark Boy versus Josh Alexander. So you never know.
Who knows? That could be amazing. But there you go then, boys. That is pretty much what we've got lined up. I mean, again, Ken Shamrock would be interesting, especially as we haven't seen him for a while. So I don't know what's going on there. I know that he got a bit upset. But there you go. Davey Richards, there's an interesting one.
Amazing Red, there's another.
Yeah. But I don't know. The great thing about having a gauntlet is anyone can turn up. Anyone can have a crack, you just don't know. So yeah, interesting to see where this one goes. Looking forward to it. But guys, I think that's pretty much all we got time for today. We're hitting 2 hours, lads, and we didn't even have a guest. So Courtney Amazing Redback would be very, very cool. And yeah, definitely. Now, guys, please don't forget to head over to the TNI Patreon for exclusive extra content when you sign up. And also make sure you watch tomorrow night's TNI flagship Impact live review directly after the show, as aired on Twitch and, of course, on YouTube. Also, all TNI shows are available for all you listen on the go fans. It's audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your favorite shows. But guys, where can we find you on the socials, Joe?
You can follow me on Twitter at JOKEmptySpace. You can check out Wrestle Buddies Impact Wrestling Archives, and you'll find me on there somewhere. You can go onto Facebook and look for #EmptySpace, #The Void, or if you wish to tickle your sense of humor and your sanity, look for #Daily Giggle. And again, enter with an open mind, and you just might keep your sanity.
What about yourself, Steve?
You can find me over on Twitter at SimplySteve311 for every Impact Wrestling related. You can also find me over at WrestleBuddy under the Impact Wrestling banner, where I put a new article out every Thursday. I've got back to it this week, so there'll be a new one coming out tomorrow. All about Under Siege, and if that's leading into Slammiversary. So keep your eyes posted for that.
Sounds good. I couldn't recommend you going over and checking out Steve's articles enough. He's very, very good writer. I really enjoy his articles. Some better than some of the guys that I think out there getting paid to do stuff with their lovely biased opinions. So interesting stuff. If you're interested in finding out more about the Bison, you can check me out on Twitter at LordBison45. I pretty much do most of my wrestling stuff on there. I'm rapidly heading towards 1,700 follows. Thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate it. If you can, share me, recommend me, do whatever you need to do. I'd love it to hit 1,700 next month. That would be pretty awesome. So please help the Bison out by giving him a follow. Appreciate it. Now, a huge thank you to the boys for joining me tonight. Huge thank you to everyone in the chat for joining us tonight. As I always say, you guys are just as much part of this show as we are. So, and it's nice to see people coming in their lunch breaks and getting in from their dentist appointments or whatever it is that they're doing to get in the show. And we really appreciate it. And it's nice to have the Garys on.
Yeah, the Garys have been trying for a while.
We've not had, I don't think we've had both the Garys for a while.
No.
So it's good to see you boys. Good to see you boys. Of course, now, we've also got some people that, we don't always see. So it's nice to see Dead Punk in there as well, who's been really been active. Randy Sam's in again today, which is great. Jess Samuel's been in the house, which again is fantastic, as well as our usuals with Mir. Great to see you, which is always a pleasure, Mir. Always a pleasure. Zach Bonifer, he's here as well. And again, you're right. Spread the B-flow around the social media, guys. Let's get me to the 1,700 follows. That would be absolutely incredible. Can I just say, guys, a big shout out to Sue Young. I had a lovely interaction with Sue on my messenger today. I am so excited because she seems to be getting a little bit more active and posting a few little pictures and stuff. We're getting teasers.
Nice.
I think it's getting closer and closer to Sue coming back. So maybe Slammiversary, who knows? It would be amazing to see Sue come back. So big shout out to Sue Young, and of course her husband Rich, and their lovely newborn as well, which is great. Anyway, please take the time out to help us moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us a thumbs up. And if you're new to us and you like what you see, then please consider clicking the subscribe button. The big red one says subscribe on it. Don't forget to give that bell a tickle, a squeeze, or even a smash to never miss any of the great content coming out from the UK and the US teams each and every week. But don't forget, if you want to support TNI, obviously you can do it with super stickers like the lovely Courtney and Anna have been doing today, and like they do quite regularly. But you can also do this by heading over to our Spreadshirt store or prowrestlingtees.com/Total Nonstop Impact. Buy a shirt, wear it to a show like the lovely Violet did. We appreciate all of these things. It's fantastic. The love and support that you guys show us is really, really important to us. So thank you ever so much. With all that said, I have been Bison. That has been Joker. And of course, Simply Steve. And this has been episode 82 of Impacted. Take care, everyone.
We're Bison! We